Thoughts on Justin Lin being in talks to direct Spider-Man 4. Also, are you nervous that Zendaya returning will undo No Way Home's ending? So, this past week it was reported. Reports can be wrong. Reports can be misinterpreted by the person reporting them. There's always a little bit of the game of telephone going on, a little bit with those sort of ones. Someone knows a person that saw a thing. But with the people that report these things, if they have any journalistic integrity, they have at least two sources, two independent people told them something, and then they run the report. That's how people with integrity do things. You don't run on one source, you have at least two, and they're trusted. So last week, there were some reports that Justin Lin was in talks to do Spider-Man 4. If you don't know who Justin Lin is, he's most famous for directing like half of the Fast and the Furious movies, including a couple of the best Fast and the Furious movies, as well as a couple of the worst Fast and the Furious movies. So he can direct a good Fast and the Furious movie if he has a good script. He also directed Star Trek Beyond. That was the third in the recent trilogy of Star Trek films that many people kind of compared to Fast and the Furious in space. Some of that was unfair. Some of it was entirely fair. Hey, this is Sean from the next day. When I did this live stream and answered the question, I forgot something extremely important. Justin Lin directed the Modern Warfare episode of Community, and that is a fantastic episode of television. Now, normally when evaluating a director, I don't factor in their television work because television is a writer-led medium. The director doesn't actually have that much creative input. They're outside hired guns usually. This is an example where the director was really important in balancing the tone and making it feel like an action movie, but also making it true to the television show and making it funny. And the episode totally balances all of that. He pulled it off and did something really special with that. And so he's one of these guys that, despite having worked on a bunch of Fast and the Furious movies, which don't feel like they represent him as a great director, you don't think of, oh, great direction, Fast and the Furious, he's done some really cool things. He is a talented director. He just might not have been on the most prestigious of projects. What do I think of Justin Lin taking over? I think Justin Lin is as good as the script that he's given. I think he has the talent to deliver exciting action sequences, allow movie stars to deliver their one-liners. I think he is an entirely competent director. I'm a little bit confused as to why he hasn't done more outside of Fast and the Furious and why he kind of keeps going back to this one franchise rather than seeing what else he can do. So there's a little bit of that sense of, does he just work in that machine really well? Or is he just a good studio guy? But like, I see his name, and I wish that we had a couple other movies outside of Fast and the Furious to like judge things, evaluate things. But I think he's competent enough to deliver a Spider-Man movie. But he's not a director that also has like a distinct style or vibe or vision in a sense. And maybe in that sense, it kind of worries me. Because you think of the Raimi films. Sam Raimi has a very distinct style. For some people, that's why his movies haven't aged very well. His Spider-Man movies haven't aged well because he has a certain hokey sense of humor. He's very inspired by the Three Stooges and slapstick, and he brings a lot of that in. But some people don't like that, and some people think it's dated, and there's a certain way he does the acting, and so people laugh at some of Toby's crying or whatever. But it feels distinct. It feels like there's a creative vision there. Whereas Justin Lin feels like a company man that gets the job done. Like he's, to use a phrase I'm using more and more, he's a McDonald's manager. He's a Chili's manager. He's good at managing the McDonald's. He's good at managing the Chili's, but that's really his skill set. He's not the vision caster that I feel like we have seen yet. He's not the guy that makes his stamp on it. He can get the job done for the studio. And if you also kind of look at Watts, the guy that did the last 3 Spider-Man movies, I don't think that we haven't seen enough from him to know if he has a distinct style. I think he did a good job with his trilogy of films, but even some of that is the whole package was good. Like there was just like some good casting. The direction they kind of went with the characters and stuff. There's some things they did, but it wasn't like, man, the direction is really what saved these movies. The direction is what elevated these movies. I don't know. He did. I'm not attacking his direction, but I don't feel like he made this big, obvious stamp on the franchise that you can see how that would translate to something else. So you bring in Justin Lin, who also I feel like did a good job with a couple of the best Fast and the Furious movies. He delivered a Star Trek movie that fit with the franchise that he was working in. He can get the job done, but is there a vision there? That's a little bit what I think about. But that's also kind of what Marvel Studios wants. That's what they're looking for. The producers cast the vision and give the actual creative direction, and then they hire McDonald's managers. They hire Chili's managers to run everything and get it done and be the doer people, but it doesn't seem like they're normally looking for the director to have this vision to actually run with things. So Justin Lin being hired, it actually doesn't make me nervous or excited. It's just kind of in like, yeah, that feels like what they're doing. That feels about right. And he's done some blockbusters that were good. So yeah, that works. Just give him a good script, please. Please give him a good script, because he won't fix a bad script. But if you give him a good one, he will do the right job. And then also, the other question here, also, are you nervous that Zendaya returning will undo No Way Home's ending? No, because I never really thought that she was gone. Like, I didn't. They were doing this reset because they needed to do, but I thought if we do another one of these, it's not like Mary Jane is disappearing from this continuity of Spider-Man movies and she's not coming back. It's kind of like, okay, we had to do something to clear the area a little bit and start over. But I never thought she was gone for good. So it doesn't mean much to me that she's coming back, because it was like, yeah, I kind of assumed that's what was going to happen. So most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month for $2 per month, $20 per year. You can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams for $5 per month. You get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.